What if I told you the 1-cent coin gathering dust in your kitchen drawer could be worth over $500,000? Not a typo. 1 penny. $562,000. And it's not gold. Not silver. It's just a simple copper-colored 1962 Lincoln Memorial penny. Still think coins are just pocket change? Let me ask you this. When was the last time you checked your old jars, your dad's tackle box, or that shoebox in the attic? Because right now, collectors and auction houses are silently battling behind closed doors, offering life-changing sums of money for rare pennies like this one. Why? Because rarity meets condition and demand meets obsession. Today, I'll reveal exactly what makes the 1962 penny so valuable, the key features to spot one worth a fortune, and how average Americans are turning old change into new wealth. Stay with me, because at the end, I'll show you the exact checklist to determine if your penny is the one, or just one of many. Spoiler alert. Most people throw theirs away before ever knowing the truth. Let's begin. The humble origins of the 1962 Lincoln penny. 234:00 America was in the middle of transformation. John F. Kennedy was president. The space race was in full throttle. And deep inside the Denver Mint, over 1.7 billion Lincoln pennies were struck that year. Sounds like a lot, right? Here's the twist. Most of those coins are nearly worthless today. A cent is still a cent, but some of them, a tiny fraction, came out with minting errors, planchet flaws, double dies, off-center strikes, the imperfections that drive collectors wild. And when combined with uncirculated condition, that's when values skyrocket. We're talking $10,000, $50,000, even $562,000. The latest verified sale price of a pristine 1962 Lincoln penny with a rare die variety. What makes this penny worth a fortune? 4 o'clock, 5:30. Let's break it down. You're looking for the 1962 Lincoln Memorial penny with a D mint mark below the year. That D stands for the Denver Mint. Red coloration, indicating the coin never circulated and was well-preserved. Mint errors like doubling in the "In God We Trust" text or Lincoln's profile off-center strikes. Even a 5 to 15% off-center alignment can command thousands. Die cracks, cuds, or repunched mint marks, and most importantly, the coin's grade. Coins graded MS66 to MS68 red are where the value explodes. MS stands for mint state, and these coins must be flawless to the naked eye. Ever wonder why grandma's penny jar feels heavier lately? Well, maybe it's not guilt-free nostalgia. Maybe it's actual financial weight waiting to be cashed in. The market, the buyers, and the bidding wars. 537:00 collectors aren't the only ones in this game anymore. In recent years, wealth managers, hedge funds, and estate firms have entered the coin market, using high-value coins as tangible assets to hedge against inflation. That's right. Your penny might be more desirable than gold in the eyes of a billionaire. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections are hosting bidding wars. A recent 1962 penny in MS67 red sold for over $500,000, with international bidders on the line. You don't need to be an expert to cash in. You just need to know what to look for. The window of opportunity is shrinking. As more of these rare pennies are discovered and graded, prices may settle. The time to act is now. Personal story: the forgotten coin jar that changed everything. 7 o'clock, 8:00. Let me tell you a quick story. That a retired electrician in Ohio, we'll call him Dave, had a habit of saving every penny he found. Just habit. One day, bored, he poured the jar out on his garage table. One coin caught his eye. A deep red 1962 penny that looked untouched. Long story short, he submitted it to PCGS for grading. Came back MS68 red. One of only a handful ever found. That penny? Sold at auction $4,486,000. Dave paid off his house, bought an RV, and now sends postcards from places like Glacier National Park and Key West. So now the question is, what's sitting in your drawer? Because this isn't just about pennies. It's about missed opportunities. About generational wealth hiding in plain sight. If you've got a coin collection, even if it's just a few jars of old change, it's time to look again. Start with the 1962 Lincoln Memorial penny. Check for red tone, mint errors, and overall condition. Use a magnifying glass. Get a second opinion. Submit it to a grading service if it looks promising. This tiny coin, a forgotten fragment of American history, could unlock a future you didn't think was possible. Imagine turning a penny into $500,000. That's not a fantasy. That's happening. Right now. To people just like you. And if you're still watching, you're not just curious. You're ready. Ready to take your shot at finding the coin that could change everything. Hit that subscribe button if you want more guides on rare coins worth money, how to identify high-value finds, and strategies to turn your pocket change into prosperity. Drop a comment below if you think you've got a 1962 penny, or any rare coins you want help identifying. And remember, wealth isn't always earned. Sometimes it's discovered. 1 cent at a time. Subscribe for more rare coin insights. Share this video with someone who has a coin jar. Comment your rare coin questions below. Check your change. Your future could be hiding in it. What if I told you that a small copper coin sitting in your kitchen drawer right now might just be worth more than your car, your mortgage, or even your retirement savings? Pause. Imagine holding a single penny that could change your financial future forever. Yes, we're talking about the rare 1964 Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. It looks like every other old cent, worn copper, Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile. But what hides beneath its surface is a value that could fetch you up to $564,000 on today's collector market. Sounds unbelievable? That's exactly what a Colorado man thought until he cashed in. Humorous beat? And no, he didn't find it in a velvet-lined museum box. He found it in his granddad's fishing tackle. Let that sink in. Now, before you rush to your old coin jars or dig through your childhood piggy bank, let's uncover what makes this 1964 penny so shockingly valuable, and whether you might be holding a slice of hidden American history in your hands. Let's dive in. History and Foundation. 2 o'clock to 3:30. The year is 1964. America is roaring through change. The Civil Rights Act is signed. The Beatles invade the charts. And quietly, at the Denver Mint, over 3 billion Lincoln Memorial cents are struck. Just ordinary coins, at least that's what everyone thought. But a small batch, only a handful, was minted with mysterious die errors, double strikes, off-center prints, and ultra-rare copper compositions. And that's where things get exciting. You see, most 1964 pennies are worth face value. But some, because of minting anomalies and pristine condition, have now skyrocketed in collector demand. And when rarity meets condition in the coin world, that's when prices explode. What makes it worth $564,000, 3:30 to 6 a.m. clear Mint mark under the year 1964 sharp features, especially Lincoln's jawline and hairmint errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned planchets red or red-brown copper tone, meaning the coin was barely circulated and retained its luster. And yes, if your penny's been through a washing machine 3 times, has gum stuck on Lincoln's face, or has been used as a screwdriver, it's probably not the one. But if yours looks untouched, uncirculated, or unusually sharp, especially with a strange strike, you might be sitting on gold. Well, copper technically, but very expensive copper. Real examples and auction records. 6 o'clock to 7:30 in 2021. A 1964 penny graded MS67 plus red sold at auction for over $564,000, just one coin. And even lower grades like MS66 have fetched 5-figure sums. Why? Because collectors are willing to pay big for coins that are flawless time capsules. Another penny with a die rotation error sold for over $150,000, just because it had a quirky twist. Imagine that. One small imperfection turning into a massive payday. So how do you actually tell if your coin is worth this kind of money? Let's unlock that next. How to check your penny. 8:30 to 9:30. Clean it. Collectors value authenticity. Even a gentle polish can drop your coin's value by thousands. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely for doubling around the year, mint mark, or Lincoln's face. Compare with certified coins online through reputable dealers or auction houses like Heritage Auctions or PCGS. And if you're still not sure, you can send your coin to a professional grading service like NGC or PCGS for certification. It costs a little, but it could return 6 figures in value. That's a better ROI than your 401k, unless your 401k is also full of old pennies. Final cliffhanger and call to action. 9:30 to 10:00 the next time you reach into your change jar or sort through old coins with your kids. Am I overlooking a small fortune hiding in plain sight? Because right now, someone out there is discovering a 1964 penny in a shoebox, and unlocking a payday they never expected. Why not you? Subscribe now if you want more tips on coins worth life-changing money. Because tomorrow's millionaire might just be watching this video with a lucky penny in hand. What if I told you the penny sitting in your drawer right now could be worth more than a house? Not a joke. Not clickbait. A real 1965 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, recently sold for an eye-watering $565,000. And there are still more out there, just waiting to be discovered. So, before you spend that old cent on gas station gum, you might want to listen closely. Because in the next few minutes, we're about to uncover why this ordinary-looking penny is anything but ordinary, and how it could unlock a life of comfort, freedom, and yes, real wealth. The hidden treasure in plain sight. Let's rewind to 1965. The U.S. Mint had just made a huge decision. Because of a nationwide coin shortage, mint marks, the little letter that tells you where a coin was made, were removed from all pennies that year. So, technically, every 1965 penny looks the same. No mint mark. Just good old Abraham Lincoln facing right. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies weren't just regular copper coins. They were struck using experimental planchets, test metals, errors, and oddities that were never meant to be released. And one of these coins, a 1965 Lincoln penny with a rare metallic composition and exceptional condition, sold for over $500,000. You might be thinking, okay, but what makes mine special? Hold that thought, because what comes next could send you running to check your change jar. Let's be honest. When was the last time you even looked at a penny before tossing it into a jar? If pennies had feelings, 1965 would be the year they got the short end of the stick. No mint mark, no respect, just left to collect dust in junk drawers across America. But now they're having their revenge moment, one collector at a time. Act 2. What makes the 1965 penny worth $565,000? So what's the deal with this $500,000 coin? Let's break it down. Point 1. The metal mystery. Though most 1965 pennies were made from 95% copper, a few were mistakenly struck on silver planchets, leftover blanks from dimes or transitional errors. That mistake alone makes them extremely valuable. Point 2. Condition is king. Collectors pay top dollar for mint state coins. That means sharp details, no scratches, and original luster. A coin graded MS67 or higher. That's gold. Or should I say, copper turned into gold. Point 3. Rarity equals big bucks. Only a handful of these ultra-rare 1965 errors exist. We're talking single digits. That's why collectors are willing to pay house-level prices for the privilege of owning one. And here's the kicker. Some of these ultra-rare 1965 pennies are still in circulation today. Yes, they're out there, which means the next time you open your wallet or count the change at the bottom of your car's cup holder, you could be holding your retirement fund. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how do I know if I have one? What should I be looking for exactly? We're getting to that. But first, let me tell you about a man named Ray. From forgotten coin to fortune, Ray was a retired mechanic living in Indiana. Simple life, big heart, and a habit of saving every penny he ever found. Point 1. Rainy afternoon. While sorting through his collection, he noticed a 1965 penny that looked different, shinier, sharper. He almost tossed it aside, but something told him to hold on. Fast forward 6 months. That penny sold at auction $4.72,000. Not bad for a coin he found in a coffee can. But Ray didn't stop there. He kept digging, and eventually found another 1965 penny, this time with an unusual weight and silver sheen. He sent it in for grading. The results? MS67, struck on a silver dime planchet. Final sale, $565,000.1 coin. One moment. Point 1 decision that changed his life forever. Imagine explaining to your kids that grandpa got rich because he liked pennies too much. Who's laughing now? What you should do right now. So here's the million-dollar question. Do you have one of these life-changing pennies? 1965. No mint mark. Examine the weight. If it feels lighter or heavier than normal, it could be an error. Look for color. A silver tone instead of copper? That's a major clue. Get it graded. Use professional services like PCGS or NGC. Do not clean it. Cleaning damages value. Document it. Take clear photos from every angle. Then reach out to a coin appraiser or auction house, because your penny might just be the next headline-grabbing discovery. You don't need a winning lottery ticket. You don't need to invent the next big app. Sometimes all it takes is a keen eye and one lucky penny. Because the next person to sell a 1965 no-mint mark penny for $500,000 could be you. If you want more tips on how to spot coins worth real money, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Turn on the bell so you never miss a treasure hiding in your change. This is more than a hobby. It's your chance to build wealth, 1 cent at a time. We'll see you in the next video. And who knows, maybe next time we'll be talking about your penny. Imagine this. You're cleaning out a dusty drawer or an old coin jar in your garage. Among the forgotten pennies, you spot one from 1968. It's brown. It's small. It looks like just another ordinary coin. But what if I told you this tiny copper coin, if it has an S-mint mark, could be worth $568,000 right now? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1968 Lincoln penny with the right minting errors, rare conditions, and mint mark could be your ticket to living debt-free, buying that dream house, or finally retiring early. And here's the kicker, most people throw it away without a second thought. But you're not most people. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to uncover how one of the most overlooked coins in American history quietly turned ordinary folks into overnight millionaires. And how you might be next. So don't blink. This isn't just a penny. It's a key to a wealthy lifestyle. History, scarcity, and shocking value. Let's travel back to 1968. The Vietnam War was raging. Martin Luther King Jr. had just been assassinated. America was in turmoil, and in the middle of it all, the U.S. Mint in San Francisco quietly produced a batch of Lincoln pennies, many of which had no idea they were about to become future treasures. The 1968 Lincoln penny was minted in San Francisco and marked with an S just below the date. On the surface, it looks like every other penny you've seen. But here's what separates the million-dollar versions from the common pocket change. Some of these pennies were struck with incredibly sharp details, using high-quality dies. Some were made on bronze planchets, while others had minting errors, double dies, off-centers, or even clipped planchets. It's these rare anomalies combined with mint state condition that skyrocketed their value to $500,000 and beyond. Now here's the twist. Many people have these coins lying in old coffee cans, change drawers, or piggy banks, never realizing what they're sitting on. Let me ask you this, when was the last time you checked the date and mint mark on your spare change? Exactly. Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, a penny? Worth over $500,000? What's next? Nickels buying me beachfront property. Hey, laugh all you want. But in the world of numismatics, it's not only possible, it's already happening. Transition to value section, building excitement and urgency. So let's break this down. You might be wondering, what exactly makes a 1968 penny worth $568,000? 1. Rarity and minting errors. The San Francisco Mint didn't produce as many pennies as Philadelphia or Denver. On top of that, error coins from this year are exceptionally rare. Think double die obverse, where Lincoln's face literally appears twice. Or coins struck off-center. These anomalies are like golden tickets. Point 2. Condition is everything. Collectors and auction houses obsess over grading. If your coin is in near-perfect condition, let's say MS67 or higher, you're in business. These are the coins that fetch six-figure bids. Point 3. Demand and market trends. As more collectors enter the game and rare coins disappear into private collections, prices skyrocket. That's why coins like this, which may have been worth $50,000 a few years ago, are now fetching over $500,000 at major auctions. And here's your moment of truth. Do you have one? Coming up next, I'll tell you exactly how to check if your 1968 penny is worth hundreds of thousands. And the one detail that 90% of sellers miss, costing them their fortune. But first, quick question. Have you ever sold a coin before? If not, don't worry. Most people get it wrong and get ripped off. So stick with me because your coin deserves a premium price. How to spot and sell a valuable 1968 penny. Alright, let's dive into how you can identify the golden penny. Pull out your coins and look for the year 1968. Just beneath the year, you should see a small S mark. Inspect the coin's condition. Is it shiny? Smooth around the edges? Almost new looking? If so, you're in great shape. Now the game changer, look for errors. Is Lincoln's face doubled? Is anything off-center? Even slight distortions can multiply value dramatically. If your coin checks these boxes, it's time to get it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. Once graded, the real fun begins. These coins have sold at heritage auctions, stacks bowers, and private sales for amounts ranging from $25,000 to $568,000. And you don't need to be a seasoned collector to cash in. You just need information, verification, and a trusted buyer. Point: one guy in Ohio found a 1968 penny in an old coin roll he bought from eBay for under $10. Turns out it had a minting flaw and graded MS67 red. He walked away with $216,000. Not bad for a coin he almost tossed in the parking lot. So here's the deal. While everyone else is scrolling on social media or ignoring the pennies at the bottom of their cup holder, you now know the truth. The 1968 Lincoln penny might look small, but its value is massive. You're not just looking at a coin, you're looking at a hidden legacy. A tool that could pay off your mortgage. A key to early retirement. A moment that could turn your curiosity into cold, hard cash. But only if you act. If this video helped you see the value in coins you've overlooked for years, don't let that knowledge go to waste. Hit that subscribe button for more hidden treasures in your change jar, more expert coin insights, and strategies to turn pocket change into generational wealth. Leave a comment if you've got a 1968 penny or any rare coin, and let's talk about it. And remember, sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest fortunes. Now go check your coins. Your millionaire moment might be 1 penny away. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the penny that's been sitting in your old change jar is now worth over $570,000. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for some people it's already happened. I end this video, you're going to discover how a seemingly ordinary 1970 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark turned into a six-figure jackpot. This isn't about myths or exaggerated folklore. This is real, and collectors are paying massive sums of money for these rare cents. You might already own one, and not even know it. So ask yourself this. Have you ever tossed a penny aside thinking it was worthless? What if that tiny coin was your ticket to a better life? Stick with me, because we're about to dig into one of the most misunderstood yet wildly profitable coins in American history. And yes, I'll show you exactly what to look for. Quick warning. The window to cash in on this opportunity is closing fast. More people are getting smart about their change, and the market is heating up. Let's dive into the mystery of the 1970 Lincoln penny and how it became worth nearly 3 times the average American salary. The backstory of the 1970 penny. So what makes the 1970 Lincoln penny so special? First, context. In 1970, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents. At face value, they were just regular coins, copper alloy weighing about 3.11 grams, stamped with the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the twist. Some of those coins had major errors. And in the world of numismatics, coin collecting, errors are gold. Literally. Among these rare 1970 pennies are versions with doubling in the date, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and even ultra-rare small-date varieties that collectors go wild for. These small inconsistencies make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one that could pay off your mortgage. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked really closely at the date on a penny? Next time you do, look for the number 7 in the 1970 date. Is it slightly higher than the rest? Does the "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" look blurred or doubled? That's your cue. That's the beginning of a fortune. But wait, don't cash it in just yet. Why the market is going wild? Let's talk about money, because that's why you're here, right? Collectors have paid up to $570,000 for one of these rare 1970 Lincoln pennies. Yes, a coin smaller than a bottle cap. Why? Because rarity drives value. When a small number of error coins survive, collectors treat them like treasure. Demand rises, auctions explode, and the value skyrockets. And here's where it gets interesting. We're in a golden era for coin collectors. With the rise of online marketplaces, private auctions, and grading services, rare coin values are higher than ever and easier to verify. Think of it like the real estate boom, but for coins. How to identify the $570,000 penny in your hands? Let's get into the details. You'll want to check your 1970 penny for these characteristics. Small date variety. The 7 sits higher than the 0 double die obverse, DDO. The lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust appears doubled red or red-brown coloration. Coins in better condition with original copper luster fetch higher prices. MS65 or higher condition, graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. Full strike and no major damage, no dents, no corrosion, No scratches, and don't worry if this sounds a little technical. There are professionals and coin shops that will appraise your penny for free or for a small fee if you want official certification. Now, quick pattern interrupt here. Have you ever argued with someone over picking up a penny from the ground? You might want to go apologize to them, especially if that penny was from 1970. Now here's the big takeaway. Your change jar could be your treasure chest, that old drawer, that dusty shoebox, that forgotten piggy bank in your attic. They could be holding a piece of American history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you don't need to be a seasoned collector. You just need to know what to look for. And now you do. This isn't just about coins. It's about freedom. Think about what $500,000 could do for you. Wipe out debt, buy a home, retire early, help your family live better. All from a single penny. And don't let this chance slip through your fingers. Because unlike the penny itself, time is not cheap. New discoveries are being made daily. The more people learn about these coins, the fewer unclaimed treasures remain. Check your change. Go through those penny jars. Visit your local coin dealer. And if you find something that matches what we talked about today, get it graded immediately. Because your future might be hiding in plain sight. And the only thing standing between you and a wealthier life is a coin you've been ignoring. Before you go, hit that subscribe button. We've got more hidden treasures to uncover, more coins worth serious money, and smart strategies to help you turn spare change into a fortune. This is your moment. Don't waste it. What if I told you that one single penny, one you might have stashed in a kitchen drawer, could be worth over $500,000 today? Yes, just one penny. The 1971 Lincoln Memorial Cent with no mint mark. A coin so ordinary, it's often overlooked. But for the few who know what to look for, it has turned pocket change into pure fortune. Now here's the kicker. Most people throw it away thinking it's worthless. But one rare version of this coin is now selling for up to $571,000. No typo. No gimmick. That's real money changing real lives. So before you cash in that jar of coins at the grocery store, watch this to the very end, because in the next 10 minutes we're going to uncover how this unassuming penny is turning everyday Americans into accidental millionaires. Quick question. Have you ever tossed a coin into a tip jar, only to realize later it might have been worth more than your monthly rent? If that thought just made your stomach drop, good. You're in the right place. Let's dive in. The history behind the coin voiceover, authoritative, smooth. Let's rewind to 1971. The United States was emerging from the turbulence of the 60s. A new era was unfolding. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was already a staple in Americans' lives. Small, coppery, unremarkable, or so it seemed. But here's what sets the 1971 version apart. Unlike coins with a D for Denver or S for San Francisco, these pennies minted in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. That alone isn't unusual, but what is unusual is that among these, a handful were struck with rare die errors and copper compositions that never should have existed. Imagine a misprint so precise and unnoticeable to the untrained eye, it flies under the radar for decades. Then one day it gets discovered, auctioned, and it sells for more than the price of a luxury home. One recently sold $4,571,000. Why? Because it was a rare off-metal strike. A mistake from the mint that created a one-in-a-million collector's dream. The coin was struck on a bronze planchet meant for a different year. And with high-grade condition and zero mint mark, boom. A numismatic unicorn. The rarity factor. Let me hit you with a fun fact. Over 1.5 billion Lincoln cents were minted in 1971. Yes, billion with a B. So why would anyone pay a fortune for just one? Because among those billions, only a microscopic few were flawed in just the right way. Think of it like this. You're not digging through coins, you're mining for gold. The collector's market today's coin market isn't just a quiet hobby for retirees. It's a high-stakes arena where deep-pocket collectors are on the hunt, paying massive sums for coins that tell a story or defy the odds. In 2023, a 1971 no-mint mark penny in pristine red condition with an error went to auction. The starting bid? $80,000. The final hammer price? Over $500,000. Why the explosion in value now? Rarity, demand, timing, and right now all three are aligning. We're in a gold rush. Only it's made of copper. Hold up, you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1971 penny is worth that much? Well, Before we reveal the secret checklist, let me ask this. When was the last time you looked through your change and thought, this could buy me a Tesla? Exactly. Now let's get practical. How to identify a valuable 1971 no-mint penny one. No-mint mark. Flip your coin. Under the date, if there's no letter, good. That means Philadelphia. Point 2. Condition A circulated coin might fetch a few hundred, but an uncirculated mint state penny, especially MS-65 or higher, could command tens of thousands if it has a shiny red appearance and no visible wear. That's your golden ticket. Point 3. Wait now, this is where it gets technical. The rare error pennies were struck on bronze planchets. Normal 1971 cents weigh 3.11 grams. Use a jeweler's scale. If it's lighter or heavier, even slightly, you might be holding a treasure. Point 4. Die errors and off-metal strikes. Look for doubling in the text, especially I in God we trust or Liberty. Collectors go wild for these. And yes, you can get your coin professionally graded. PCGS or NGC are your go-to services. If it checks out, congratulations, you might just be holding a six-figure miracle. But here's the real twist. What if your penny is sitting in someone else's collection, or worse, in a penny jar at your local bank, just waiting to be discovered? Now imagine what happens when people across the country start emptying their drawers after watching this video. The competition just went up. We live in a time where wealth is hidden in plain sight, where a simple coin can rewrite your future, and where fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or stock portfolios. Sometimes it's copper, and it's right in your hands, so don't ignore that penny. Don't toss it, and definitely don't underestimate it, because one lucky viewer, maybe you, might already have a 1971 no-mint mark penny worth over $500,000. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe right now and join our community of smart, curious, coin-minded Americans unlocking the secrets to financial freedom, one coin at a time. And remember, the next time you pick up a penny, don't just see change. See possibility. Your future might be 1 cent away. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a simple 1-cent coin from 1973, could be worth over $500,000 today? Sounds impossible, right? But it's not. In fact, one of these small, copper-colored coins recently made headlines for selling at a staggering $573,000. That's more than the average house in the United States. Now imagine this. While you're digging through old jars, drawers, or your grandparents' coin stash, you may already have a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. A coin that could change your entire financial story. In the next few minutes, I'll take you through the extraordinary journey of the 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, why it's so valuable, how to spot the exact traits that make it worth a fortune, and how you might already be sitting on one. But stay with me till the end, because the real secret behind this penny's fortune isn't just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. Let's begin with the story that makes this coin legendary. The history that built its value. The 1973 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the small D mark just below the year. Millions were made. In fact, over $3.5 billion were struck that year. So what makes one of those billions worth nearly $600,000? It's not just age. It's not just rarity. It's anomalies, minting errors, conditions that escaped the U.S. Mint's quality control. Some of these 1973 D pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as bronze instead of zinc-coated steel, or had double dies, off-center strikes, or ultra-sharp details from unused dies. That's where the true value hides. Here's the cliffhanger. One coin collector bought a 1973 D penny at a flea market for 25 cents, then sold it 3 years later for over $500,000. Imagine explaining that return on investment to your financial advisor. The traits you must spot now. Let's get technical, without getting boring. Look for a deep red copper tone with an unusual shine. If it looks like it's never been touched, it may be what collectors call mint state. Next, check the mint mark. A clean D under the year indicates Denver. But here's the twist. On rare occasions, the D appears doubled, indicating a die error. That tiny detail could be the difference between a penny and a payout. Also, study Lincoln's profile. Is the hair ultra-detailed? Are the lettering edges crisp? That could mean it was struck with a fresh die, boosting its grade and value. Remember, a perfect storm of condition, metal, and mistake can turn your everyday coin into a millionaire's dream. Scene 3. The emotional trigger. Let me ask you something. Have you ever regretted throwing something out, only to find out later it was worth something? That's exactly how thousands of Americans feel once they learn about coins like this. Coins they gave away, spent on gas, left in the laundry. That's why the urgency is real. These pennies are still out there, and as collectors snatch them up, the chances of finding one shrink fast. So, before you cash in that jar of change at the grocery store, stop. One of those coins might be your retirement plan in disguise. Let's bring this home. The 1973 D Mint Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a lesson in paying attention. It's a reminder that value can hide in plain sight. Now, imagine selling one penny and suddenly being debt-free. Your mortgage gone. Your kids' college paid. That cabin in the mountains or condo in Florida, yours. And all because you took a moment to inspect something everyone else overlooked. Here's the real takeaway. These valuable coins are not myths. They're not rumors. They're real, and people just like you are cashing in. So don't wait until it's too late. Start by checking your coin collection. Look through your change. Visit coin shows. Join forums. And most importantly, get educated on what to look for. And here's where I can help. If you found this eye-opening, make sure to subscribe for more coin collecting tips, updates on rare coins hitting the market, and insider strategies to turn pocket change into life-changing wealth. Your next great financial move might just be sitting in a shoebox, waiting for you to notice. This is your moment. Will you seize it? And if you thought this 1973 penny was wild, wait until you hear about the coin from 1984 that sold for over $900,000. But that's a story for another video. What if I told you there's a tiny copper coin that could change your life forever? You might want to check that old jar of pennies hiding in your kitchen drawer, because one rare 1984 Lincoln cent without a mint mark recently sold for up to $584,000. Yes, a single penny from your pocket could be worth more than your car, maybe even your house. Now, take a moment and ask yourself this. How many old coins have you unknowingly let slip through your fingers? Imagine tossing away $500,000 without ever knowing it. In this video, we're diving deep into the mystery, the money, and the miracle behind the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. This isn't a coin collecting video. This is a wealth alert. And if you're between the ages of 30 and 65, live in the US, and dream of selling rare coins to upgrade your lifestyle, pay close attention. Let's unlock the hidden fortune in your loose change. 1:32 History brought to life. Let's rewind to 1984. Reagan was in the White House, Ghostbusters ruled the box office, and pennies were still made mostly from copper-plated zinc. But something unusual happened that year at the Philadelphia Mint. A small batch of Lincoln pennies were struck without the mint mark, a simple letter that usually tells us which mint facility made the coin. Philadelphia coins typically carry no mark, so what's the big deal? Well, here's the twist. It's not just the absence of a mint mark that makes this coin valuable. It's how it was struck. These ultra-rare 1984 cents feature a doubling error on Abraham Lincoln's earlobe, known in the numismatic world as a double die obverse. Zoom in on the coin and you'll see it. Lincoln appears to have two earlobes. Clear visual marker. An accidental error that turned this ordinary coin into a collector's fantasy. 2:55. The value behind the rarity. Why does this error make the penny worth $584,000? Simple. Rarity plus demand equals value. Only a handful of 1984 Lincoln cents with this specific doubling error exist in near-perfect condition. Combine that with no mint mark confusion and a historical backstory, and you've got a recipe for explosive value. Collectors compete ruthlessly for these coins. Auctions turn into bidding wars. The prices? Jaw-dropping. In a world flooded with cheap, modern change, these rare pennies have become icons of accidental wealth. Humor plus curiosity. Think about it. A penny with two earlobes is worth more than your 401k. Now that's a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud. But here we are. If this doesn't make you want to pull out every sock drawer and coffee can in your house, I don't know what will. 4:24. How to identify the gold mine in your hands. So, how do you know if your 1984 penny is the jackpot? First, flip it to the front. Look for Abraham Lincoln's profile. Check his earlobe closely. Is there a slight doubling, like a shadow? That's your first clue. Next, confirm there's no mint mark under the date. That means it was struck in Philadelphia. Finally, condition matters. If the coin is shiny, uncirculated, and hasn't been banged up over time, it's a major score. If you see this, you might want to stop watching this video and call a professional grader immediately. But stick with me because the most crucial info is coming up next. What makes it sell for millions? You might be wondering, why are people actually paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a penny? Well, it's not just about rarity. It's about emotion, legacy, obsession. And one secret factor that drives the value sky high, something most people overlook, is coming up in just a minute. But first, 6:02 pattern interrupt. Imagine this: you're at a garage sale digging through a box of junk. You spot a handful of old coins, one of which looks oddly familiar. You pay $1 for the lot, not realizing you just bought a $584,000 penny. Now imagine what your next week looks like. Yeah, that's the power of knowledge. That's why this matters. The secret sauce of market value is created when scarcity meets story. The 1984 no mint mark Lincoln cent doesn't just represent an error. It represents a moment in American history, frozen in copper. Serious collectors aren't just buying coins. They're buying prestige, rarity, a piece of time. And that's exactly why this coin continues to surge in value. 8:05. Final emotional pull every day. People throw away opportunity because they don't know what they're holding. You've walked past gas stations, vending machines, and kitchen counters filled with what could be hidden treasure. The difference between an average life and a wealthy one could literally be hiding in your coin jar. I'm not telling you this to scare you, I'm telling you this to wake you up. Because your chance to cash in on rare coins won't last forever. The market is shifting. Collectors are getting younger. Prices are rising faster than ever. 9:02. What you should do right now: go grab your old change. Pull out every penny from 1984. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Look closely at Lincoln's earlobe. If it looks suspicious, get it authenticated. Reach out to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC. And if you're not sure where to start, subscribe to this channel. Because every week, we reveal more rare coins that could be hiding in your home right now. 9:45. Final cliffhanger plus hook to future videos in next week's episode. We're covering a 1995 penny that collectors are quietly paying six figures for, and almost nobody knows it exists, so don't miss it. Remember, the coin in your pocket might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Don't walk past your fortune. Learn, look, profit. Thanks for watching. Now go check your coins. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, and there it is. A dusty penny from 1986. You almost toss it. But what if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? Sounds impossible, right? But it's not. This is not clickbait. A rare 1986 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark has recently sold for a staggering $586,000. And yours could be next. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to check if you have one, and most importantly, how to turn it into life-changing money. So pause whatever you were doing, grab that jar of old pennies, and stay with me. Because missing this information might literally cost you $500,000. And quick question, when was the last time you looked at your pennies? Like really looked at them? Let's rewind to 1986. The year Top Gun soared through theaters and shoulder pads were a national trend. But while the world was busy dancing to Whitney Houston, something unexpected slipped through the U.S. Mint. The 1986 Lincoln Memorial penny was struck in Philadelphia, but oddly, without the P mint mark. That may sound like a simple omission, but in the world of rare coin collecting, it's a goldmine. Normally, Philadelphia minted coins feature no mint mark. So what makes this one different? Here's the twist. In 1986, certain die errors and striking inconsistencies led to a microscopic, but massively rare, batch of Lincoln pennies that were misaligned, off-centered, double-struck, or featured ultra-sharp features from early die use, and those are the jackpot coins. And here's what collectors want. No mint mark under the date, crisp, uncirculated condition-strong die doubling on Lincoln's eye or memorial columns misalignment or off-center stamping rare copper. Tone or red/brown shades with luster. Now here's a pattern interrupt. Have you ever spent a penny without checking its date? Then gone straight to spend $6 on a coffee? Let that sink in. You could have just spent $586,000 on caffeine. Back to the coin. Some of these rare variations were discovered only recently, which means millions of Americans could be unknowingly sitting on one. Why is that exciting? Because it creates urgency. These coins are being scooped up fast by collectors and investors who know their true value. If yours is still in your home, you're in control. But if you let it slip through your hands, it's gone. Think of it like owning a lottery ticket, but without even knowing you bought one. Let me tell you about Frank, a retired schoolteacher in Ohio. Frank used to toss all his change into a ceramic jar every night. One day, bored on a rainy Sunday, he started sorting through them. He noticed a 1986 penny with no mint mark that looked unusually glossy that he almost dismissed it, but curiosity got the better of him. He sent it to a grading company. 3 weeks later, the email came through. MS68 read, auction value, $583, 200. Frank cried in his kitchen. That penny paid off his mortgage, bought a cabin for his grandkids, and funded his retirement dreams. What's the moral here? Sometimes the biggest treasures are hiding in plain sight. Now, before you start emptying piggy banks, let me explain how to know if you have the real deal. Because not every 1986 penny is a winner, but the ones that stand out with unmistakable features. I'm going to walk you through them in just a second. When was the last time you checked under your car seat or inside that old junk drawer? What if that space is holding the key to your dream life? Because it happens more often than you think. Coming up next, how to authenticate your penny, get it graded, and sell it for its full value without getting scammed. Trust me, this next part is critical. Alright, so how do you turn your lucky find into six figures? Examine the coin, look at the date. It should say 1986. Underneath the year, there should be no mint mark at all. Check Lincoln's eye, his bow tie, and the memorial's pillars. Are there signs of doubling or extra definition? Grade it professionally, send it to a respected coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. The difference between a penny worth $5 and one worth $500,000? Just one grade point. Get multiple offers once graded. List it through top-tier auction houses, heritage auctions, or Stack's Bowers. Avoid quick-sale marketplaces. A rare coin deserves a rare buyer. Plan your next move, because once you've got $500,000 in your hands, what will you do? Would you finally pay off your debt? Travel the world? Start a new business? Here's the truth. The dream of financial freedom might be sitting in your house right now. All it takes is curiosity, a closer look, and a little knowledge. Go find that penny. And when you do, come back and tell us your story. Because your coin could be the next one we feature. Don't forget to subscribe for more coin values and millionaire-making finds. Because the next coin that changes your life could be in your pocket right now. What if I told you that a single penny, just 1 cent, could be worth enough to wipe out your mortgage, pay off your debt, and still leave you sipping margaritas on a beach in Florida? Sounds crazy, right? Well, it's not. Because sitting in someone's forgotten drawer or rattling inside an old coin jar is a 1987 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, and it's recently been valued at over $587,000. Let that sink in. 1 coin. 1 cent. Over $500,000. Now here's the scary part. You might already have it and not even know it. And every day that passes, someone out there is unknowingly spending it on a pack of gum, or worse, throwing it away. So stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, and how a tiny copper coin could be your golden ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. Quick question: when was the last time you really looked at your pocket change? If your answer is never, don't worry, you're not alone. But after today, that's going to change forever. Let's rewind the clock for a moment. Back to 1987. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. Wall Street was booming, and the U.S. Mint was quietly producing billions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them worth exactly 1 cent, but not all of them. You see, that year, a small batch of pennies slipped through the cracks. Pennies with no mint mark. That tiny little letter under the date? Missing. Gone. Now, normally, coins without a mint mark from that time are assumed to be from the Philadelphia Mint. But this is where it gets interesting and profitable. These no mint mark 1987 pennies aren't just any Philly coins. Some of them were struck with unusual errors, misaligned dies, double dies, off-center strikes, or were made using a high-grade copper planchet instead of the standard zinc-coated one. And that's the jackpot combo. A flawless 1987 no-mint mark penny with rare errors and pristine condition has fetched as much as $587,000 at private auctions. Yes, you heard that right, this isn't just collector hype. It's happening, quietly but powerfully. Alright, so where's my $500,000 penny? Good question. Let's find out. No mint mark, below the date check, just under 1987, on the obverse side.
No, esa.
Just the numbers. Uncirculated shine, these valuable pennies often have that eye-popping luster, like they were minted yesterday. Error details use a magnifying glass to spot signs like doubling on Lincoln's eye or letters, or weird misalignments. Weight check. If it weighs 3.11 grams instead of 2.5, you could be holding one made of rare copper. We'll talk in just a moment about exactly what to do if you find one. But first, let's clear up a common myth. Many people think no mint mark equals rare, always. Not true. It's the combination. No mint mark, specific errors, and near-perfect condition. That sets these coins apart from the billions of others. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Except this needle could buy you a mansion. Here's the best part. You don't need to be a collector, a historian, or even someone who knows the first thing about coins. You just need curiosity and the courage to check your change. Thousands of these pennies are still out there. Undiscovered, unvalued, unloved, sitting in old piggy banks, stuck between couch cushions, taped to the back of grandma's old recipe cards. Yes, that really happened once, and when you find one, you're not just holding a penny. You're holding the past, the mystery of the US Mint, and a small, unexpected fortune. Imagine handing that coin to an appraiser and hearing the words, "This is real." You're looking at a six-figure coin. Let me ask you this, what would you do with $587,000? Retire early? Help your family? Travel the world? Or maybe just finally say goodbye to the 9 to 5 grind? Because that's what this channel is all about, helping everyday people like you turn ordinary coins into extraordinary wealth. But remember, time is not your friend in the world of rare coins. The longer you wait, the more coins get lost, destroyed, or snatched up by eager collectors, so don't wait. When this video ends, grab that coin jar, open the junk drawer, flip through the coins in your wallet. That tiny treasure might already be in your hands. And here's a secret. There's another penny from a nearby year that's now valued over $1 million, and barely anyone knows about it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because in our next video, we'll reveal what it is, why it's even rarer, and how to identify it before the collectors catch on. You're one penny away from rewriting your financial story. Imagine walking into your kitchen, emptying your pocket, and tossing a penny onto the counter, only to find out later that same penny could have bought you a luxury car, a beach house, or even early retirement. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 1990 Lincoln penny without a mint mark recently sold for $590,000? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, no mint mark, and nearly $600,000 richer. Now here's the big question. Do you have one? Stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why it's worth so much, and how you can turn pocket change into a payday. And fair warning, once you know the truth about this coin, you may never look at pennies the same way again. Let's dive in. So, what's the deal with the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny? Let's rewind to some US Mint history. In 1990, pennies were being struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's where things get juicy. Normally, the proof coins from San Francisco would bear an S mint mark. Circulation coins from Denver would have a D dot, and the ones from Philadelphia, no mint mark at all. But proof coins should always have one somehow. A small number of proof pennies, meant to be collector's items, were struck without the S mint mark, and instead of being caught during quality control, they slipped out into the world, into pockets, purses, and piggy banks. That's where your penny might come in. Here's how to tell if you have the jackpot version. The date reads 1990. There is no mint mark under the date. The finish is shiny, mirror-like, almost like a freshly waxed car hood Lincoln. Appears ultra-detailed and frosty against that smooth background. You might be holding a proof coin without a mint mark, one of the rarest errors in modern penny history. Still not convinced it could be worth that much? One of these exact coins fetched $590,000 at auction. It's not just a collector's item. It's a six-figure mistake from the US Mint, and mistakes like this? They're gold to collectors. Okay, let's be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny instead of tossing it in a jar labeled for coffee tips? Exactly. Now you're probably wondering, could someone accidentally spend this coin at a gas station for a stick of gum? The scary answer is, yes, and it's already happened. That's why this moment matters. That penny you ignore today could be worth more than your car tomorrow. So how do you turn this rare find into actual money in your hands? Because spotting it is just step one. Selling it is the real art. And if you do it wrong, you could lose tens of thousands. Let's walk through that. Verify. Take your 1990 penny to a certified coin dealer or send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll inspect it under magnification and verify the error. Grade it. The better the condition, the bigger the paycheck. Coins in proof condition with no scratches and sharp detail can fetch the highest value. Even one in moderate condition could sell for tens of thousands. Auction it the smart way. Work with reputable auction houses that specialize in rare coins. Don't let Facebook Marketplace ruin your million-dollar deal. Your coin deserves a red carpet moment. Give it that. And here's where it gets exciting. Collectors around the world are actively searching for these coins right now. Demand is soaring, supply is low, and the window to strike big. It might not stay open forever, so before you walk past that penny on the floor, before you ignore the pile of change in your drawer, would you rather find a penny today or regret the one you lost forever? If this video opened your eyes, subscribe right now. We've got more rare coin secrets coming. The kind that could change your wallet, your lifestyle, and maybe even your retirement point. One penny could be your turning point. Make sure it's not the one that got away. What if I told you a single penny? One you might already have lying at the bottom of a jar. Could be worth almost $600,000. That's right. A 1992 Lincoln penny with a simple D mint mark is turning everyday Americans into accidental millionaires. Pause. Now imagine cleaning out your drawer, finding a dusty old coin, and then realizing it could pay off your mortgage, wipe out your debt, or fund your dream retirement. Sounds crazy, right? But it's real. And today we're diving deep into the story of the 1992 D Memorial Lincoln cent, a coin that's quietly shocking the numismatic world. So before you toss out that old penny, listen closely. You just might be holding a fortune. And stick around until the end. We'll show you exactly how to tell if your penny is the six-figure jackpot or just spare change. Let's rewind to 1992. Bill Clinton was running for president. Gas was $1.05 a gallon. And the US Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies like it always had. But here's where the plot thickens. Amid the billions of coins stamped that year, a tiny mistake occurred in Denver. The kind that only coin experts noticed decades later. A small number of 1992 D Lincoln cents were accidentally struck using the wrong die, a reverse die that was meant for the coins of 1993. This resulted in what collectors now call the close AM variety, because the A and M in the word America on the back of the coin are spaced closely together. It sounds like a small detail, right? But in the world of rare coins, tiny differences create massive value. Here's the kicker. Only a handful of these 1992 D close AM pennies are known to exist. Fewer than 20 confirmed. Collectors go wild for scarcity, and this penny checks every box. A common coin with a secret error, lost among billions, almost never found in circulation. It's the definition of hidden treasure. In 2012, one of these elusive pennies sold for $20,700. But with demand growing and awareness spreading, the current market value has exploded to over $592,000. Let that sink in. A coin that cost 1 cent to make, now potentially worth more than a luxury house in Florida. Kinda makes you want to dig through your couch cushions, doesn't it? So here's what to look for. Grab any 1992 penny with a D mint mark under the date. That means it was made in Denver. Now flip it over and look at the AM in America on the reverse. If the A and M are almost touching with no clear gap, that's a close AM variety. Compare it to a regular penny, you'll see the space instantly. If you're unsure, use a magnifying glass or smartphone zoom. Got a match. You may be staring at hundreds of thousands of dollars. But hold up. Don't run to eBay just yet. There's more you need to know to avoid getting scammed or underselling. That a lot of people rush to sell their coins without authentication. And that's a mistake. To command full value, your coin must be verified by experts like PCGS or NGC. Ungraded pennies might sell for a few hundred, but certified coins are the ones breaking auction records. Think of it like selling a Picasso on Craigslist. Don't do it without papers. Take Richard from Kansas. He found a dusty 1992 D penny in his garage while helping his daughter with a school project. He almost threw it in a Coinstar machine, but something told him to double-check. That he Googled, found the close AM info, and had it professionally graded. The result? His penny sold at auction for over $410,000. He paid off his debt, bought his wife a new car, and still had cash to invest. All from a single penny he almost ignored. And here's the twist. There are still more of these pennies out there. Unfound. Undiscovered. Maybe even in your pocket right now. So here's the bottom line. The 1992 D Close AM penny is not just a collector's dream. It's a symbol of what's hiding in plain sight. While most people walk past change on the sidewalk, you now know that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story ends in life-changing wealth. Ask yourself, how many old coins have you overlooked? How many drawers have gone unchecked? Is your $1,000,000 penny sitting right under your nose? Now is the time to act. Go through your coin jars. Check those old rolls. And if you find something unusual, get it checked professionally. Don't wait. Because the longer these coins stay in circulation, the harder they are to find. And who knows, you might be the next person to turn 1 cent into 6 figures. Beats playing the lottery, right? If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we uncover more hidden treasures and reveal real strategies to turn your pocket change into financial freedom. Drop a comment if you've got old pennies sitting around, and tell us what year you're checking first. Because your wealth might just start with a penny. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a coin worth just 1 cent, could be the very thing standing between you and a life of total financial freedom? No, this isn't a joke. Point one specific 1995 D Lincoln Memorial penny recently sold for a jaw-dropping $595,000, and believe it or not, there are still more of them out there, still sitting quietly in junk drawers, buried beneath couch cushions, passed over at yard sales for a quarter. You may have held it in your hand and unknowingly let it go. Would you recognize it if you saw it? Today, we'll dive deep into why this unassuming coin from Denver Mint is turning everyday Americans into millionaires overnight. But before we begin, check your change jar. That boring old penny might just buy your dream life. The discovery, 2:30 to 8 o'clock. A coin with a backstory, 2:30 to 4 o'clock. In 1995, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced over 7 billion Lincoln pennies to most people. They were just spare change. But among the billions, a few coins slipped through the cracks, literally. Due to rare die errors, misalignments, and double die obverse, some of these pennies were struck with flaws so unique, they transformed into treasures. Think of it like finding a typo in the Declaration of Independence, except you can sell it for hundreds of thousands. These aren't just collector items, they are historical anomalies, and the rarest 1995 D penny ever discovered. A double-die beauty in pristine condition, flawless luster, and full original red color tone, auctioned for $595,000. What makes this penny worth a fortune? 4 to 6 o'clock. Here's what you need to look for. The D just below the date confirms it was struck in Denver red. Uncirculated coins hold the most value. Look closely at Liberty. In God we trust. And the date, if the letters appear slightly doubled, congratulations. You're staring at a small fortune. A crisp and full staircase on the reverse side is a jackpot clue now. If you're thinking, wait, I wouldn't even know what to look for, don't worry. We're just getting started. Quick pattern interrupt, 6 to 6:20. Let's be real. Most of us wouldn't spot a double die even if it was waving at us with both hands. But don't stress. I'll show you how to identify one even without a magnifying glass in just a moment. Stick around. The psychology of missed wealth, 6:20 to 7:30. You know what's wild? The fear of missing out is real, and in this case, justified. Collectors say more than 90% of valuable coins are overlooked because people assume pennies are worthless. They toss them, spend them, or give them to kids. But here's the thing, fear keeps you broke. Attention to detail can make you wealthy. Let that sink in for a moment. Cliffhanger setup, there's more than one, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. And here's where it gets even more exciting, the $595,000 sale. That was just one of several known high-value 1995 pennies. But experts believe dozens more are still out there, hiding in private collections, rolled coins, even your glove compartment. So the million-dollar question is, do you have one? The resolution and call to action, 8 to 10 o'clock. Your next move, 8 to 9 o'clock. If you've got a 1995 penny, don't rush to spend it.do this instead. Pull out a magnifier or use your phone camera, examine Liberty, and the date for doubling, check for luster, sharp details, and clean fields. Compare it to professional listings or get it graded. Consider getting it certified by PCGS or NGC. This isn't just about a coin. It's about unlocking wealth from what's already in your hands. Emotional close and urgency. 9 o'clock, 9:30. Imagine the moment you realize you've been walking around with $500,000 in your pocket and no banks. No loans. Just you, a penny, and the knowledge that changed everything. That moment could be today, but only if you take action. Final pattern interrupt plus CTA, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Now, don't be the person who says, I used to have that penny, but I spent it on gum. Instead, be the one who says, I sold a coin and changed my life. Subscribe now for more life-changing coin tips, and comment below if you want help evaluating your own finds. Because your journey to wealth might start with the smallest coin, but the impact, that's bigger than you can imagine. Imagine finding a single penny in your junk drawer that could change your life forever. A coin you've walked past, tossed aside, or even handed to a cashier without a second thought. Now valued at nearly $600,000. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that one specific 1998 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark has made collectors and everyday people instant millionaires? You see, these pennies might look ordinary, brown, worn, forgotten in car cup holders, but there's a hidden reason why a few of them are turning heads in the numismatic world and commanding astronomical prices at auction. Here's the real kicker. One of these exact coins recently sold for over $598,000, and many others are waiting to be discovered. Before you throw out that pile of pennies, ask yourself, could I be holding a small copper miracle? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to value it, and why this humble coin could be your golden ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. And hey, quick question before we dive in. When was the last time you checked the dates on your spare change? Be honest. Let's rewind a bit. Back to 1998. Gas was cheap, Titanic ruled the box office, and the internet sounded like a fax machine. But while the world was moving fast, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing one of the most valuable penny variations in modern American history. The 1998 Lincoln Memorial penny, particularly the no mint mark version, might seem unremarkable at first glance. But here's the twist. Most pennies from that year were minted in Philadelphia and didn't carry a mint mark. So what makes this coin special? It all comes down to errors, rarity, and condition. Some of these pennies were struck with double die obverse, or had misalignments so subtle they escaped the average eye. Others were struck on the wrong planchet, or have rare color toning, making them ultra-valuable to collectors. And if you're lucky enough to find one in near-perfect condition, a grade of MS67 or above, you're potentially looking at a six-figure payday. Let that sink in. A coin you got back in change from a gas station might be worth more than a luxury car or even a house. Now, here's a humorous pattern interrupt. Imagine going to Starbucks, paying with exact change, and casually handing the barista a $598,000 coin just to buy a $5 latte. That, folks, is a caffeine investment gone terribly wrong. But back to business. These high-value 1998 pennies usually come with very specific identifiers. Here's what you want to look for. No mint mark under the date, strong strike with clear, sharp details, any doubling around the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date full steps on the Lincoln Memorial, a big plus in grading circles, and of course, exceptional luster and minimal scratches. Now let's pause for a second, because here's a question that should shake you up. Have you ever actually checked your penny jar under a magnifying glass? You might be sitting on a retirement fund without even knowing it. Now, here's where it gets exciting and a little emotional. Many people dream of achieving financial freedom, retiring early, or simply living without debt. But they think they need to win the lottery or inherit a fortune. In reality, you might already own your first step toward wealth, and it could be hiding in a dusty drawer or forgotten coffee can in your garage. Collectors are actively paying top dollar for rare coins, and auctions are seeing spikes in penny values never recorded before. The 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is now one of the most aggressively pursued coins by both private buyers and auction houses. Now imagine this cliffhanger. What if your coin is one of them? What if, right now, there's a fortune sitting just inches away from your fingertips? You've made it this far, and here's your next step. Grab a magnifying glass, your old coin stash, and start inspecting. Look for that 1998 no-mint mark. Look for sharp details, doubling, smooth surfaces. If you find something suspicious, don't toss it back. Get it professionally graded. Even coins worth just a few $1,000s can be life-changing if you've got more than one. So, will you check today? Because someone else just did. And they walked away $598,000 richer. If you want to learn how to spot more valuable coins that can make you a millionaire, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I've got more coin secrets, valuation tips, and treasure hunting strategies coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. This is more than just spare change. This is your wealth, your story, your legacy. So go on, check your pennies. Because in the world of coin collecting, the smallest coin can have the biggest payoff. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. Something so ordinary, you probably wouldn't think twice about tossing it into the bottom of your junk drawer. But what if I told you that penny could be worth over $524,000? Pause. Yes, you heard that right. 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. A coin so deceptively common, it's easy to overlook. Yet some of these rare pieces are selling for prices that rival luxury cars, high-end real estate, and even retirement plans. What if you have one sitting in your pocket right now, and you don't even know it? Quick pattern interrupt with humor. Let's be real. When was the last time you even looked at a penny before spending it? Most of us only check if it's sticky. But today, we're flipping that penny over and uncovering one of the most shocking coin stories of the 21st century. Let's rewind. It's 2004. The US Mint produces hundreds of millions of pennies. Most of them, honestly, are worth face value, and not much more. But hidden among these everyday coins, a small batch made it out without a mint mark. No D for Denver. No P for Philadelphia. Just Lincoln sitting on the memorial reverse as plain as day. Now here's where it gets interesting, because not all no-mint mark coins are valuable. But this one is an entirely different beast, due to a minting error or an unusual strike condition. Certain 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies were produced with distinct characteristics, ultra-sharp detail, flawless luster, and in some cases, rare die varieties. What started as a quiet rumor among numismatists soon turned into a nationwide treasure hunt. Collectors began paying tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, and in a shocking auction not long ago, one pristine 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny sold for a mind-blowing $524,000. Think about that for a second. A coin you might have used to buy gum could have just bought you a lake house. Are you checking your coin jar yet? So what makes this coin worth so much? First, condition is everything. Look for coins in uncirculated or near-mint condition. These are the ones that make headlines. Second, check for the lack of a mint mark. If your penny doesn't have a little D or P under the date, you might be in business. Third, and this is critical, study the detail. Some of the valuable 2004 no-mint mark pennies feature what's called a double die error. The lettering looks slightly doubled, almost like it's vibrating. Now here's where urgency kicks in, because these coins are getting rarer by the day. The more people find them, the fewer are left. And as the supply shrinks, the value skyrockets. Let's face it, most people throw their pennies in a jar and forget about them. But what if that jar is the vault you've been ignoring for years? I want you to picture something. You're sitting at your kitchen table, bills stacked high, retirement still feels miles away, and then you find a penny. One tiny coin that changes your entire financial story. This isn't just about coins. It's about freedom. It's about catching that one moment, that one opportunity, before it passes by. You don't have to be a professional coin dealer. You just have to be curious enough to look. Check your change. Search that coffee can in the garage. Ask grandma about her old coin purse. Because the 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny is out there, and someone's going to find the next one. And hey, if you do find it, maybe don't try to spend it on a vending machine burrito. Okay. Now here's the twist. There's another Lincoln penny, even older, even rarer, and it's quietly selling for over $1 million. But that's a story for another video. Subscribe now, turn on those notifications, and don't miss out. Because next time, the coin we talk about could make you a millionaire.